Hi, I'm Shane. I use they, them pronouns, and this is the 10th session of a game of Fearful Symmetries, campaign by Steve Dempsey. Um, we'll get into this pretty quickly. Puckett, one of our regular players, couldn't be here this week, but I'll get the other players to introduce themselves and their characters. Jose, you've been away the last couple of weeks, so why don't you lead us off?
Hi, everybody. My name's Jose, and my pronouns are he and him. I'm playing Sybil Carrington. Her pronouns are she and her. She is from an aristocratic family. Her interest in the occult stems from her interest in music. And she has a violin of some strange provenance that she uses for some of her more occult practices. She's like Puckett's character, Jack. She is an aficionado of jazz, perhaps in a different style than his American blues. And she has been away a bit, dealing with family matters, but is excited to reunite with her comrades at this point in the journey.
Excellent, thank you. Stephen?
Yeah, hi there. I am Steven. I use he, they pronouns. And I'm playing Owen, he, him. Yeah. Trying to remember. I know we went to a fairy castle last time, a goblin castle, I guess technically. And oh right, George found out about me murdering someone.
Do
That
I
was the
right?
other big thing.
Thank you. And T.
Yeah, speaking of George, still currently idealistic. Haven't quite turned that key yet, but we've got some time left. Yes, I am T, she, her, and I am playing George Bennett, also she or her, research associate at Oxford. Nope, dang it, research fellow. I don't know why this is so hard. Um,
If you'd said a
who
different thing every single week, I would never have noticed.
yes, academic title that is um, appropriate for the time and place.
Mhm.
Uh, and she's having a bad time right now. We found out that Owen, who she considered to be the most sort of level-headed and trustworthy of our crew, or I guess who was around, because Sybil, I think she thinks Sybil can generally be trusted, but has other calls on her time as well, unfortunately, is in fact a cold-blooded murderer and has not quite gotten
I don't see
over
how those are
that.
contradictory qualities.
George unfortunately does, and has cut off one of her pillars, Carrie Worthington, after promising to show her mystical visions in her dreams, and instead has basically told her, "You know what? You were right. I am crazy. Save yourself. Don't get involved in this." So we'll see what comes of that. Uh, and is yeah, standing in front of a goblin castle, a thing that I think a couple months ago would have driven her to the point of madness. But she's fine. She's handling it. Don't worry about George.
Right. So, just to confirm, Jose, you've watched the video from last week, so you don't need a detailed recap or anything. All right, great. So, as you say, when we finished up last week, George and Jack and Owen were all at the gate of the Goblin King's castle. Um, we didn't really talk about this, but I think we're going to sort of retcon that George has been leaving messages for Sybil so that Sybil's able to join you quickly and conveniently. And since Puckett isn't here this week, what I'd like to do to start us off and have some explanation in the fiction is that Jack had a sudden sort of intuition, maybe from his spirit guide, that he needed urgently to go back to Oxford to deal with Tobias George and the various problems associated with Tobias George and Hell and Hell Beast, etc., etc. So he's gone off to deal with that. And if it's all right, I'd like to suggest that George and Owen have sort of regrouped to the hotel to plan their next steps, and that's where you'll meet Sybil. So not quite at the gate of the Goblin Castle, but knowing where it is. Um, And yeah, maybe sort of George and Owen have just sat down in the hotel bar to think about their next steps when they hear the unmistakable tones of Sybil Carrington checking into the hotel.
Yeah, and Sybil peeks her head into the bar and says, "Oh, there you are." And she hurries over to the bar. And what have you done with Jack? He's run off again, hasn't he? A tarot card perhaps told him to go someplace.
George toasts you in acknowledgement.
Well, I have nothing to toast with. Bartender, please. Champagne. What time of day is it? Is it okay for her to be day drinking?
Well, it's a
Everyone else
lunchtime.
is. Is it nighttime now?
I think it's
I mean,
early
George
afternoon.
Early afternoon. Okay, good. Nothing shameful in that then.
I mean, you're an aristocrat, right?
I can drink whenever I want. Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
have to go to work.
the only shameful thing here for Sybil is being in this hotel, just so déclassé.
Exactly. Um,
Like
and so,
Sybil, as we've established, makes a habit of showing up in people's basements. The hotel is, good accommodations by comparison.
that's right. She does show up places that she's really aren't appropriate for her. Um, so, do we want to do in character the catch up, or do we just want to hand wave that and um, uh, assume that that's
I guess does George share the murder
oh, right,
news?
right. In front of Owen, maybe that's not
That
possible.
is an excellent question. Yeah,
Oh, wait,
definitely
maybe we
not
want
in
to
a
play that
bar.
out.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess, does Sybil read the paper? Have you seen the paper that has Owen's like sketched portrait on the front page that's like wanted for
Oh, right, there's that.
murder?
Maybe can a paper be hanging about the bar
I
on
don't
one of
think
the
I'd be in
tables?
here in the bar if there was like,
If the paper was hanging, okay. So maybe Sybil hasn't. She's just gotten into town. We're not in Oxford anymore. We're
That's right.
someplace
You're
else, right?
in Tysoe.
Okay. Which is like I don't know Tysoe. Is it like a small town, a city, or
Small town, not far from
no? It's like
Oxford.
okay, excellent. All right. No, so I don't think Sybil knows. Uh, so and the original task was coming here to what would she know? Sorry. She knew that you were
Yeah,
coming
I
here.
guess, George, what would you have told Sybil about, the messages that you left about why she should come here?
Yeah. Um, I'm trying to decide because we know that so just I'm warming my brain back up. We know that Eileen Brenchley, who at this point George assumes is Lizzie Weiberg, uh, was coming out here and we were looking for her. But prior to that, when we'd aligned to the node, I forget the specific terminology that we were using in the park. We'd seen, well, yeah, we'd all seen a sad horse, a sad white horse, and so that's sort of the lead that we were originally following. And it seems that Lizzie, aka Eileen, was following the same lead. And I think George would have shared information on the horse, but probably not on Lizzie Weiberg because we know that what's her face, Ada from the Pomegranate Lodge, is also looking for her. Ava?
Eva.
Lily.
Well,
Ava. Oh,
Eva
No,
is
Lily's
the
boss.
leader. Yeah.
Lily's
Yeah.
boss. Got
Hmm.
it. All right.
yeah, and everyone's decided like that. Well, I guess to be fair, like if you're gonna threaten someone, you threaten the person who either does not get threatened all the time, like Jack,
Right.
uh, and you also don't threaten Owen. So I guess I was gonna say like for some reason everyone's threatening George, but then I'm like,
George.
oh, but right, that's why.
You're looking across the lineup of people that you want to threaten to beat up, and you're like, I want that nerd.
What I'll take. I'll take the nerd.
Most bullyable. No.
So having
Yeah, so I
found
think you know about.
Yeah,
the course. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
of course. Yeah. I was just gonna start in. Have you found any trace of Lily? Of not Lily, that would be a Freudian slip. Of Lizzie.
And I think George will sort of glance at the bartender, who I imagine is not paying much attention, and says, "Why don't we take things up to our room?"
Oh yes, let's. Of course, she always ignores servants as if they're not even there. So, but anyways, yeah, sure.
And I think George pauses for a moment, and then sort of like jerks her head at Owen in silent invitation.
Was that a jerk to say like stay here or come up as well?
Come up as well.
Okay.
And
Owen
when
will come up as well.
Sybil sees the look on your face or the nature of that gesture, she says, "Oh my, seems there's a story there as well.
Oh, you
But
don't
we
know
can
the
talk
half
about
of
that
it.
in your room."
Yeah.
All right. And so
Yeah.
you're safely ensconced in a private room.
Uh, and I think George is just going to tell you sort of what we know about Lizzie slash Eileen, and that we've been told not to follow her, and we absolutely did, and that sort of the next thing on George's to-do list is to get in that castle and get Lizzie out. Um, I think there's sort of a pause at the end of it where she looks for Owen, waiting for him to volunteer.
Oh yes, Jack made a deal with the fairies, I say.
More contracts with the Fae. My goodness, I'm only gone a couple of days, and you three, I should say, get into so much trouble. What did he sell? What does he have left to sell?
Do we know?
I don't quite remember if he told you the details. I don't think he told you what he got in
No, he did.
return.
He said he had to play for someone.
He had to play
Right.
for someone.
Mm.
Oh,
Uh,
music, of course.
Very
The last
traditional of
thing to
him.
go. And wait,
That's not.
does Sybil know about your run-in with the Fae, George? It seems like she did. Yes. Didn't we have a conversation about it? I thought we had a conversation
Yeah,
about it at some
George
point.
had
Yeah.
tried to brush it off, I think,
Brush
and
it
it just
off.
sort of
Yeah.
like mentioned she'd had some trouble, and then tried to hurry the conversation past that.
Why have these Fae gentlemen taken such interest in us? There must be more to this story. But I suppose we won't know immediately. But you all are convinced that the ley lines meet in this goblin castle. If we want to do an attunement, we have to get into the castle. And you are also convinced that Lizzie is somehow held there against her will? We should storm the
Well,
castle. How does one storm a goblin castle?
Oh, is she held there against her will? Was
we
that
don't
the
know.
conclusion we came to?
I think
My
we know
mistake.
she thought it was dangerous.
Hmm. Let me see. Goblin castles, goblin castles. What do I know about goblin castles? Cue the folklore.
Yeah.
Possible role.
I'm just thinking about what you might know about the about goblins or the Goblin Castle. Sorry, just bear with me for a sec.
Mhm.
Um, so I mean, you know what goblins are. You know that they are, by reputation, odd little sort of critters that are prone to pranks and trickery. Um, they are social. They live in, kingdoms and cities and things like that. I don't know that you know much. I mean, the castle you would expect to be um, at the heart of a goblin city or something like that, which doesn't seem to be the case here. You know that there are goblins that are, truly malevolent, but also many that are more prankish, um, even some that are helpful.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I was also under the impression, and I'm just trying to remember now, that it almost seemed like the current queen had some kind, like the servant implied, but the current queen had some kind of influence over the Goblin King.
Yeah, so the servant who spoke to you at the doorway said that the king is has coupled up, shacked up with Nanny Rutt, who you recall was a nature spirit in Lincolnshire, or reputedly a nature
Right,
spirit
right.
traditionally, but over the last 100 years had assumed a more sort of sinister aspect and was linked to the disappearance of the children that led to the events in the dolmen. But yes, there was a suggestion that the that Nanny Rutt is somehow influencing the king.
And that he doesn't care about political standing as much anymore.
Right. Hmm.
Well,
So, I'm all caught up then? And she looks pointedly between Owen and George,
Having perhaps sensed some tension.
having perhaps
yeah.
some contention.
I mean, I
A
think
few logistical concerns, but nothing important.
I so
uh
so appreciate you not bothering me with logistical details, Owen. It's best not to know in these cases, isn't it? Right, George?
sometimes it is. Well,
Well, after you, dear.
uh I
I
mean,
count on you to give me the most sensible plan of action. Do we
I don't know
storm
if
the
it's
castle?
sensible. Marjorie Odell seemed to think that the problem stemmed from not leaving tithes and offerings, so perhaps we try and find some at the farm. I don't know, a sheaf of wheat. Maybe this should be a folklore spend from George as she guesses about things.
Offerings?
Hmm.
Sorry,
What would a goblin want?
what would a goblin want?
I mean, human baby, obviously. George isn't doing that. Right
Obviously.
off the table.
I mean, that's a classic. The
Well, Jack is a sort of baby, isn't he?
Unfortunately, not to hand.
I mean, there are lots of stories about different things that tempt goblins. Milk, something as simple as a glass of milk in some cases,
Mhm.
a hearth or protective fire. Sometimes they're drawn simply to perform services for humans, the more friendly and obliging ones. Um, I don't know that there's much clarity about, something that's consistent or that would appeal to a goblin royalty.
Mhm.
Maybe if we could find what they used to offer and then get a better version of that. Payment with interest.
Yeah, so I guess you know
Oh,
that
you're
the
saying we should offer it a royal. I agree with that.
I guess you know that the traditional, the main sort of traditional practices here that have been stamped out was the scouring of the horse. So the horse, the earthworks horse in the hill was maintained in great festivals that happened every year where people would sort of prune back the grass or other shrubbery that was growing around and over the horse. Um, but increasingly the festivals became decadent and scandalous and were banned by the Victorians. I don't know if that is an offering. The horse is vanished from the hill, so it's hard to see how you could try and scour it, but maybe not impossible.
Perhaps our spirit guides can show us where it should be. I don't know. It's worth a shot, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you also know that there's something that's going on with the cows. They seem to have become ill in connection with the goblin, the maladies befalling the Goblin King. I don't know if there's something there that you want to consider or work with. I'm
Hmm.
just thinking about whether your spirit guides can identify the. I mean, I think you might
Shape
have.
of the horse.
Yeah.
We spoke with the old witch as well.
The old
I mean,
witch,
she
yeah.
seemed to know a lot about the local traditions. Perhaps she'd be able to show us
Mhm.
where where this horse would
Who the
be.
horse was.
She seemed to care about restoring it as well anyway. She'd certainly be invested.
But just to be
Mhm,
clear,
mhm.
we're not talking about manual labor. Are we?
Sybil, it might come to that.
Oh, we could hire someone, right? There must be
Uh,
lots of brawny young men around here looking for work.
George
Meaning
is taken a
drumming.
little bit back because she has never had the budget for that ever in her life. But if we did, then yeah, we probably could.
Is this where Sybil makes like a high class spend to have laborers on hand?
A troop of brawny laborers to clear the horse. Well, one thing at a time. We should find the horse first. You think this witch woman could help us?
Marjorie? I mean, she's been very helpful so far. I guess it can't hurt to just look at the cows. I don't know. I know a little bit of medicine, although I don't think this is mundane in nature.
We might be able to approach it magically then, rather than scientifically. No offense, George.
None taken. She seems remarkably comfortable with your suggestion.
There was a farm you mentioned nearby, no? Where the maladies began?
The Shuttler Farm.
Yeah.
Perhaps a visit to the Shuttler farm? And or the witch?
I think that seems reasonable.
Are you splitting up, or are you going to do one first, or what are you thinking?
Mhm.
Who went to see
Uh,
the witch the first time?
Owen
You and
doesn't know about animals, so
nor does Sybil.
Yeah. Okay, then maybe George will check out the farm while you two talk to Marjorie or look at the horse.
yeah, Owen will go talk to Marjorie.
Yeah. Owen went the first time, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, we all
So
went together
so
the
she
first
knows
time.
she knows him.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sybil's going to go along with Owen, is that right?
That makes sense. Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Sybil
Um,
changes into something for country walking, maybe a tweed jacket, some culottes, and some lace-up boots. Jaunty
Lovely.
little beret.
Parasol.
All right. Where will we start? Well, let's start with Owen and Sybil. So you arrive at Marjorie's cottage, and she'll invite you both in, recognizing Owen. Um, Very pleased to have company again. She's sort of flat, straightening her hair. Um, She can, sense that Sybil is very well put together and maybe for the wealthiest person who's ever going to set foot in this cottage. And she offers you, tea, some biscuits. Um, what, well, how can I help you? What brings you back here? She says to Owen.
And what was the name of this horse? I know it was the something horse.
I think it's just called the horse of Tysoe. Maybe it's the red horse.
Okay. I thought there was like a particular name, or like there was a name of the ritual. I forgot.
Yeah, they just called it the scouring of the horse.
Right, the
Scouring.
scouring. That's it. Well, we did. We had wanted to. My companions and I, Miss George, was not able to make it back here today. She was looking at the cow at what was currently happening with the cows and examining them. But we were interested to know more about this ritual, the scouring of the horse. We were wondering if perhaps we could be of some help there.
Hmm.
Miss Carrington does not look it, but her she is a far more able hand at manual labor than you would suspect.
Sybil glares at you
Um,
and sips her tea.
oh, that's a yeah, great picture in the chat. Um, so Marjorie says, "Well, yeah, what is it that you wanted to know exactly?"
Uh, well, we were wondering where the horse is in our understanding it no longer hmm, exists, at least not in a way that's easily locatable. I recalled that you seem to have a great understanding of the rituals of the town and thought perhaps you knew of its location.
Um, yes, so I suppose she'll pull out an atlas or almanac or something like that that shows with a map of the town in it, and she'll open it up so that you can see, she can point to the hill where the horse appeared. And she also has some sketches, very like the one that appears in our chat right now, showing the sort of rough outline of the horse. And she'll say, actually, there have been three great horses of Tysoe, at least. In the 18th century, the horse suddenly reversed direction, at least according to the extant records, but always in the same place on that hill, sometimes fading or disappearing, but has always returned. And I hope that what you're telling me is that we should expect its return again soon.
It's Carrington. You were just saying that you were disappointed there was only the one we would be able to work on.
The one, the one what, Owen?
Yes, the one horse. Now we'll be able. Now you'll be able
Three
to.
horses.
Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful. And this is so clear. Look on this map. Georgia would be so proud of us. We're doing research, Owen. Do you see? We must tell her. So, if we can find the horse, and if we can find someone to help us scour it, is that the correct term? What does that entail, Marjorie? Exactly, the scouring.
Uh, Well, it began just as the simple clearing of the outline of the horse to, you can imagine it became overgrown over time. People would cut back the plants that had grown over it. But a festival grew up around it. Um, there was drinking. There was such behavior as I should not like to describe before a woman of your standing. Uh, I leave it to your imagination. Some say that the bawdy behavior comprised part of the ritual itself.
Party then.
After a fashion,
Perfect. Well,
So
could
you're
we go ahead?
so you're interested in bringing back the festival? Is that what you mean?
If we could do some small gesture in that direction. Certainly, maybe not the revels that you all are accustomed to, but I can be
I,
very persuasive. Perhaps I could engage some of the youth of this town to help us revive the tradition. Owen knows many people as well, don't you, Owen? And he's very persuasive in his own way.
I know what.
You know many people, many people of the working class who might be helpful
Right,
in
right. Okay, sorry. I didn't
having a
I
party.
didn't hear that. I know many people. I see.
are you followers of the old ways then?
I would say we have a healthy respect for them
Hmm.
and feel that they have been overlooked too long. So, in that sense, we are of one mind with you, Marjorie.
Good, good.
Are there
Um,
other followers in the area who might be enticed into the scouring again?
no, this is the whole problem. Everyone has turned away from the old gods. Uh,
No one, really, just you. How lonely for you, dear.
I do my best to maintain the traditions. Is there
Well,
anything else that you want from her having, established some details about the ritual and the location?
I think I'm good. Were you good, Stephen? Can you think of anything else we
um
need from her?
no, I think I'm good.
Well, if you're commencing this work, I could come with you.
Sybil shoots a look to Owen, like questioning. Oh, the
Um
offerings. That's right. That's right.
I mean I think Owen will say, well, thank you for the offer. We could certainly use someone with your knowledge and experience.
Mhm. One other thing, aside from the scouring itself, what other offerings made in this area to the local spirits and deities?
I mean, much as the offerings elsewhere, livestock, products of agriculture, nuts and grains and so forth. Um, Sometimes jewelry or precious metals, but it's an agricultural village, and the products of agriculture were the typical offerings.
Of course, of course.
Right? And
All right, so I think we've got it. Yeah.
I might leave that there. Um,
Mhm.
so George, do you have any particular plan as you approach the Shuttler farm?
Uh, Not particularly. I mean, she's pretty straightforward. She's just gonna knock on the door and be like, "Hey, I want to look at your cows and see if I can tell anything about them. I want to help
Yeah.
if I can."
I think as you're like coming up the front entryway, you'll run into one of the shuttlers who's, um, I don't know, out for a walk maybe. I don't really know what you do on a farm in the 1930s. So the
A lot of
um
shoveling.
a lot of shoveling. So there's a young shuttler, maybe 19 or 20, doing some shoveling by the path, um, and is surprised to see, a stranger um, approaching. It's a pretty tight-knit community. And he'll look up and dip his hat and say, "Can I help you?"
And she'll tip her hat in return and say, "I'm I'm George Bennett. I'm from Oxford. Uh, we've heard that there are some problems with your cattle. I was hoping I could take a look, see if there's, any sort of anything I could help you with. It seems like a intriguing medical mystery.
You're a veterinarian?
She, I think, is kind of physically incapable of lying. And she says, I have some medical training. Yes.
Well, I suppose I'd have to ask my dad. People are worried the cows are sick. Nobody really wants to get too close to them. Are you sure? And you
That's
get the
why I've
sense
walked
as
all this
he
way.
you get the sense
Mm-hmm.
as he said this that he doesn't think the cows are sick. Um,
Interesting. Uh, you don't think they're sick?
well, everyone thinks that I'm crazy, but no, I don't think they're sick. They're just not giving milk to us, and I've been around cows my whole life. I think they're someone else is taking the milk.
This is going to sound like an odd question. Uh, have you been noticing knots in their tails?
I can't say that I have. What does that mean?
Probably nothing. Um, I mean, if you wouldn't mind me making an introduction, I'd be much obliged.
All right. Well, I can introduce you to my dad. What was your name?
George Bennett.
Well, Nelson Shotler. Um,
Awesome. Lovely to meet you.
um, so I don't know that we need to play out the meeting with the dad, but you are
Mhm.
given permission to go and observe the cows. Um, Nelson will come along. He's kind of curious now about what your whole deal is, and you're not going to be left to wander around the farm by yourself. But
Yep.
what are you doing as you examine the cows?
Yeah. I mean, I think George is genuinely taking out a notebook and making notes, but perhaps will kind of duck around the back of one of the cows from to the far side of Nelson, and pull out her little fairy stone with a hole in the center. And time for some mystical vision.
Hmm. All right, so just make a will test.
Should I have gotten the dice roller open previously? Yes.
Do you need a
There
link?
we go. I got it. And this is a will test.
Hmm.
Mm, I shall spend two, which is not enough to
Is it a
guarantee.
four test or a three test with the
Difficulty
stone?
4.
Yeah.
Oh, with the stone, I think you're right. It's 3. It says
In that
something
case, she'll
about.
spend one. I want, as a player, there to be a potential for failure here. Ah, that's a 5.
All right. Um, so you don't see anything magical about the cows. I think
Mhm,
probably from here you can see the Goblin Castle in the distance, because it is, fairly close to the farm.
mhm,
But about the cows themselves, right now at least, there's nothing magical.
mhm. Uh, and the epicenter that's been traveling out, it's sort of like a ring and not like a wedge, right?
Well, I guess I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. So there's not farms all around the Shuttler farm, but it's been expanding
Mhm.
directly and evenly from the Shuttler farm, is what you've been told.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so it's like a circular pattern. Uh, yeah. And I think George will, after walking around for a little bit, I think she knows like about mastitis, looking
Hmm.
at teeth and eyes and ears and whatnot.
Yeah. I mean,
We'll
with
say,
the sorry, go on.
uh, oh, she's gonna propose spending the night.
Um, I propose to Nelson that you'll spend the night in the field with the cows.
Yeah, keep it up.
Um, Nelson, I guess, will look very confused and surprised by this. Um, but, his dad said you could, look at the cows, and there doesn't seem to be anything about when you could do that exactly. So, sure, if that's what you want, go nuts.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this is taken for granted, but just to be clear, between your knowledge of science and outdoors and medicine,
Mhm.
you don't see any signs that the cows are sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was picking up.
Um, all right. So the three of you are able to gather back together again, maybe early evening. Um, what are the next steps to be?
So out of character for a second, the castle itself uh, is kind of a dead end because we can't get inside of it, right? At
Well,
this
I mean,
juncture.
the door is locked. You can try and
Right,
get inside of it if you want.
right.
Um,
So we could try to break in or something. Yeah, yeah. So that is a possibility. Okay. Um,
I
Oh,
am
I would have
I am
assumed
agnostic as to whether or not you
Sybil.
can get
I
in.
would have assumed Miss Carrington. I thought you were putting on a festival.
well, do we think it's a good idea? We should start rounding up the people right away, if so, if we're going to have a party. Wish Jack were here to play music, but I could play.
Good. I suspect that they are helping themselves to the sutler's milk and, you know, everyone's milk. If we could perhaps find some way to prevent them from doing that and then throw a feast, maybe we can lure them out. Food, revels, George shrugs.
Well, I'm always one for a party. Marjorie didn't really tell us whether these revels happened at night, but I got the sense that they might, considering their more colorful nature. Um, do we throw a party then? In the hills? Or do we go watch the cows? Party does sound a little bit more enticing. But how do we convince people to come?
uh, Agreed. Um, I think
Owen.
George is sort of, wait,
Oh, go ahead. I was gonna say,
George is sort of
Owen.
frowning and said,
Yeah. Sorry, I
no,
keep
Sybil.
cutting you off. Go for it.
George is sort of frowning and rubbing her forehead and says, "Could our spirit guides perhaps steal all the milk in a, I don't know, 20-mile radius? That could get them to come.
Oh, the party is for the goblins, not for the people.
I suppose it could be for both." Sorry, you had something you wanted to ask, Owen. I'm
Oh, and
feeling a
if
little
you
bit
were
out of my depth
drinking in a
here.
bar, if you were drinking in a bar, your usual haunts, what would entice you to go out to the countryside for a bit of music and revelry? I am trying to get into the mind of your sort.
Well, Thank you, Miss Carrington. That was almost almost polite of you. Um,
Oh my God.
um,
Drink, music.
well, that does seem traditional for a festival, Miss Carrington. I'm glad you have a greater understanding of the proletarian mind than you think.
These are things we all enjoy. It's good to know. But I know people often like to stay in their habitual orbits. Getting them to break out is not always easy. And it seems like the people of this town have not participated in these kinds of revels in many years. Maybe some of them never. Am I too optimistic to imagine that we could round up some revelers? I'm certain I could provide music, drink, food even. Something intriguing. We have to have something intriguing to bring them all along so that they go out of their way to join us. But then how do we get them to scour the horse? If that's important.
Maybe it's less a question of manual labor and I don't know, I think you might have been onto something, Sybil. Maybe we need to find the horse. Maybe we bring it to
Oh,
them.
George, we did research. And she pulls out a sketch that she got from Marjorie. Look, we have a picture. We have a picture of where the horse is. We know where it is. Aren't you proud? You seem
Extremely.
unimpressed.
No, I'm thinking. This map is fantastic. Excellent work.
Sybil beams. She likes to please George.
Hmm.
So out of character for a moment, what do you all want to do? Watch the cows, try to break into the castle, try to host a revelry around the horse.
Yeah. I do like the party idea.
Mhm.
Um, I think George's thought is that if we can, snag one or more goblins that's out doing milk thievery, and they don't bring milk back, it might make the castle more pliable. Um, they may be able to tell us something, right? Like maybe Lizzie isn't being held against her will, and it's like a Lotus Eater situation. Or maybe she can't leave.
What about you, Stephen? What what are you leaning towards?
Yeah, I guess I agree with the party seems our best option.
Hmm.
Okay, so can you talk me through what the plan is? So the plan is to try and host a party on the hill or by the hill where the horse used to appear.
That's the idea, yeah.
Yeah.
And the
Hmm.
the intention is that this will draw some goblins you can question, or what is the intention?
I mean, metaphysically, if the horse is being held captive, perhaps this will help free the horse.
Okay, so we
That's where
got
George's mind is.
right.
Yeah, and Marjorie said something about the offering that the revelry itself is an offering to the spirits of the place and to the horse.
Well, she said to
Um,
the old gods.
oh, to the old gods. I'm sorry. Yes.
Hmm.
Uh-huh.
which
Okay.
might be in a
Well,
different
perhaps
kettle of
they'd be able to
fish.
help.
Owen?
Just
Notoriously
so I
helpful and level-headed.
and just so I get a sense of it, like there's the farm, geographically there's the farm, and the castle is right near the farm, near the windmill,
hmm
and then the horse is someplace else.
That's right.
Okay. The horse is someplace.
Across town. I think
Okay.
the horse maybe is to the west and the castle and the windmill are to the north.
Okay. Well, we
Um,
could have a montage where um maybe Sybil dresses down a bit. Maybe Owen helps her do that.
Slumming.
Slumming. Well, Sybil does go to jazz clubs and stuff. She does know how to like not stand out if she doesn't want to. Um, uh, so I can imagine her playing in some of these clubs and maybe I don't know, letting folks know that there's going to be a wonderful party with music in such and such place at,
so
at midnight or something. Yeah.
yeah, I think that works. So I think that if what you want is that tonight, like within hours, you organize a giant festival on the site where the horse used to be. I would like to do that as a montage where each of you spends a point from an appropriate investigative ability and
Sure.
describes what that looks like. So you've told us what it looks like. What
Mhm.
ability would you spend with that?
Let's see what makes sense. Hold on, just pulling up my character sheet.
Mhm.
Let's see. Hmm. I guess I don't know what's appropriate for this kind of a thing. How to there's no throw a party kinds of things. Maybe
Comfort
reassurance
support, maybe.
or
So
oh, comforting supports.
we're looking at investigative abilities. So
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Reassurance or oral history or flirting and romance. I guess those are the social ones that she has.
yeah,
Um,
I mean, I would buy any of those. Like you can flavor it in whatever way you want. Maybe folklore if you're trying to convince them that it's, an old tradition, um,
yeah,
something like that.
yeah, yeah. Let's
Um,
do, how about oral history? Because it says there,
it's about
find
talking to
sources.
people and stuff.
You gain win their confidence, local history, traditions, family legends. So maybe I'll spend a point there.
All right, that sounds good. Owen, what about you? What point will you spend, and what is your scene in this montage as you gather people up?
Um, yeah, I do think I am frequenting the some of the major work sites. I'm drawing on my working class. Sorry, I'll spin it down in a second. I'm just trying. I have to
Sure.
close my Chrome because it was getting laggy.
Oh yeah, no problem. Um, all right. So inviting the local workers, that sounds cool. Um, and George, what about you?
Yeah, I think George has been well, I mean, I can't imagine Sybil usually buys the food and drink for parties herself. So George is trying to make the allowance she's been given stretch as far as possible, and also convince the local grocer to haul, a keg up into the middle of nowhere in the middle of the night, and I'm spending bargain here
Nice.
for her to, not immediately be thrown out on her ear.
All right. So
That's true.
incredibly, as it approaches midnight, you have successfully, drawn out most of the town to party in the hill. And we're near the top of the hour, so we'll pause here and we'll pick that up in 10 minutes, if that's good for everyone.
I'm
All
here. I'm
right,
just off camera a little bit.
sure. So as we pick up, it's going to be getting late. There is a wild party in full swing. Locals, have set up uh, a jug band or something like that, something traditional to play
Yeah, I
music, and
think
people are dancing.
I want to say that Sybil is pulling on her folklore knowledge and knows a lot of traditional fiddle tunes
Hmm.
and songs, and she's in her movings around the bars and such. She has acquired connections with some people, with some drummers and some other fiddlers, and she's used her persuasive abilities to bring
Okay.
all that. Oh, sorry.
Right. You okay?
That's all I
Uh,
want to say.
all right. Um, is anyone using their mystical vision as this party gets underway? Or
Oh, that is what George is here to do. She's got like I don't know what would be party food in this situation. She's got like an apple in one hand and a determined expression, and she is not here to make friends. She's here to find goblins.
okay. Well, make a will test for that.
Absolutely will. And I don't think it makes sense for her to be pulling out the stone to do this. And also her danger's up, so I am going to spend 3. George, your will's getting low. And that is a 7.
All right. So, sure enough, it doesn't take too long after the party really gets going for a handful of goblins to, come passing over the hill. They're odd little sort of undersized humanoid-shaped things, a little bit wormish. The first few that come over the hill are carrying milk pails. And yeah, what do you do? They
Hmm.
look curious, they've come to see what's up with this unexpected music.
I think for now, George is going to attempt to pretend that she doesn't see them and give Owen the heads up. She'll give the Sybil the heads up if she can do it subtly, but I imagine Sybil's, playing and leading the revels.
Yeah, Owen's our enforcer. He's if we want to like snag one of them. Although you could try a soft approach first, see if the goblins are willing to talk, or if they want something to drink. Maybe they'll drop a milk pail. But yeah, I imagine Sybil's on, with the musicians, and she's using, Vesper to its full extent to try to really like up the vibe of the party
Mhm.
to something that Marjorie would approve of, just like old times.
Excellent. Um, Owen, do you plan to try and snag a goblin, or is someone going to try and talk to them, or what is going to happen?
Oh, I mean, I have to go check. I have to get my Chrome started back up. I'm gonna have to make the vision roll to see them first, though, right?
Hmm.
Unless we want to get really slapstick with it. There's symmetries. How much do I even have left? I think I restored some well. I think I'm back up to max, right?
What ability are you looking at?
Yeah, okay. I was just wondering where I was at in terms of will at this point.
Yeah, so you've got 5 from a maximum of 8.
Okay, yeah. Um in that case, yeah, I'll spend down. What do I need to spend for that?
So 3 points of will uh, get you a guaranteed success. So the difficulty is 4.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that's 6.
All right. So yeah, you can see the goblins. There's maybe a dozen that have come up over the hill. Um, are you going to go and try and grab one of them? Or is 12 on 1 odds
Um,
daunting even for Owen?
sure, I can try grabbing one if that's the plan.
We could try the soft approach first.
You want to try talk? Yeah, I mean, I think talking to one might be a good choice.
Would it, since one of our plans was to possibly attract them, I was thinking that maybe George makes gives Sybil a signal when the goblins appear. Um, and oh, do goblins drink? I don't even know if they drink.
I think we have
I know
compelling
they drink
evidence they
milk.
drink milk at least.
They drink milk at least. Is there, and this is a question for you, Shane. I don't know how much the
Yeah.
game allows for this, but maybe this is idiosyncratic magic. I don't know. But the idea that that Sybil could use the music to try to lure the goblins in. I mean, they're already lured in, but lure them into the revelry itself, and they would like let down their hair, so to speak. That's what I was wondering.
Um, with the goal that it's easier to talk to them, or what's the goal there?
Yeah, gold out to let their guards down and become kind of integrated into the party somehow.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that that's a reassurance spend. You're trying to, calm
Yeah,
them, reassure them, even if it's with magic rather than directly by
sure,
communication.
sure. So I'll
Um,
spend a point of that of reassurance. Is that what you said? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right. So the that dozen goblins just start dancing. They're taking some care to avoid being trodden on by the humans who can't see them. But the other thing that will start happening pretty quickly is that more goblins start arriving, and there are at least a couple of dozen now goblins who have joined the party, and a trickle more coming from uh, the direction of the nearby woods, rather than the
I
castle.
am happy to spend a point on notice if I need to. As they dance, are they continuing to hold their buckets or do they abandon their buckets somewhere?
Good question. I think, yeah, they might lay down their buckets.
hmm George is going to go through and methodically poke holes in them.
Okay, you can do that. They are distracted enough. Um, and I think that something that happens as the party continues right around the stroke of midnight is that for a moment, maybe clouds cover the moon, or it just goes completely dark except for the fires that are burning here. And from the direction of the castle, Owen and George, with your mystical vision engaged, both hear this like thunderous sound like the neighing of a horse. And then the clouds part, the moon, reappears, and the sound is gone.
George gives Owen a significant look and punctures the bottom of the bucket with her penknife.
So we hear a neighing of do we hear where it's coming from?
From the castle.
Okay, interesting. So the goblins are out. Are we gonna go check out the horse now?
I mean, the servants are out, right? And we know where they are now. And if they've left somehow, they must also be able to go in somehow. So maybe we just follow them home.
The door's unlocked. I think we
Yeah.
established.
I mean, the goblins are still like trickling into the party, so you could
Okay.
probably, sort of follow them backwards to wherever they're coming from. Is that what you want to do?
I mean, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, if we do that, I mean, I think maybe we can have a scene of Sybil stepping down from the stage and another fiddler coming up and continuing the music
Ah,
so
good,
that she
excellent.
can
I was gonna say.
join you all.
Nice.
The
All right.
party's going now. That's what she was trying to get going. Yeah.
All right. Um, so I think that do you are you taking care not to be noticed by the goblins as you follow their trail back to wherever they've come from?
We're trying. Oh yeah, I think we've all got points in. Oh no.
Nope, I
So
don't.
Owen's out of stealth.
Well, let's see.
Yeah.
I have
so
1 point of entry still, so I could use that to get to get like a 3 points of stealth.
mm, So, I mean, I think that this is like a cooperative test. So, one of you can lead the effort to avoid notice, spending as many points as you want, and like get support from anyone else who wants to kick in points from their pool. And just like in a ritual, if you support the leader by offering points, it's like the leader gets one less point than you spend. So, everyone doesn't necessarily need to spend, but we'll say the target for the stealth roll is one higher for every extra person. So we make it a difficulty 6 stealth test.
So are we assuming that they're coming from the castle? We don't know. We're going to follow them back to their point of origin.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we know for sure, but it seems
Seems likely.
a reasonable assumption. Yeah.
'Cause
And
it
I think
seems
since
like if
George
we've drawn them all into the party, then it might be easier to infiltrate the castle with all the goblins out and about.
Mhm, mhm. And they're gonna be a while collecting milk, I'll tell you that for free. It's gonna take them a
Uh,
minute.
They're not going to notice that
Uh,
hole, and they're just going to keep filling the poor cows.
yeah. I'll spend down. I have a point in entry still. Unless you feel
Why
like
don't you
I would want to save that point of entry.
why don't you save that
I
point
mean,
of
we
entry because we might need it
mhm,
to get into the castle, right?
yeah. I think it makes sense for George to lead this because she can see. So I will spend three
All right.
for her.
So if you get 2 more points from Sybil, which would mean Sybil spending 3 stealth, then that will be enough to guarantee success for the 3 of you. Is that what you want
Sure.
to do?
Yeah.
All right.
Oops. Am I online? Am I? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I wasn't sure if my mic was on. Okay.
Um,
Uh,
so why don't you roll? So that's +5, I think. Yeah.
Ooh, 11.
And it's a critical success. Okay. So thinking about what the extra benefit might be, um, but certainly, you're able to follow the line of the goblins without them noticing you. Um, and you realize pretty quickly that they are not coming from the castle. Um, they are teeming out of some nearby woods, and uh, those of you who've engaged your mystical vision, Sybil, I'm not sure if you want to do that as well at this point, or if you're just sort of uh, following along with the others.
I
Why
mean,
don't I
this
go
might be
ahead and
somewhat
do it?
important.
Huh?
I was just saying
Sorry.
to George's thing. Sorry.
Sorry, what did you say, Jose?
I think it makes sense for Sybil to also engage her mystical
Yeah,
vision just so that we're all on the same page and we're all seeing the same
sure.
things. So I have to make a will roll, is that correct?
Hmm.
Okay. 1 second.
All right. So we'll just resolve that and then come back to what's happening.
Why don't I'll spend 2 points in with that possibility of missing. And I have the witch dice here. And I roll 2d6, right?
Just 1d6.
Oh, just 1d6, sorry. All right. There we go. +2. Okay. It's a 7.
Right.
Okay.
So yeah, you can also see the goblins. And all three of you, as you sort of trail the goblins back towards the woods, just smell the most awful smell radiating from the woods. Um, and if Sybil sort of engages her mystical senses en route, it hits you. The smell hits you suddenly as you open up those senses. It smells like fermentation, like somebody's fermenting something enormous and disgusting in the woods somewhere. Do you want to keep following the goblins back to somewhere in the woods, or do you want to detour to the castle, or what will you do?
What do you guys think?
Think they're not drinking the milk.
You're
Oh,
using
they
it
might be
yourself.
drinking it. They're just not drinking it before fermenting it.
Well, there's a mystery. I think we should follow it since we're here.
Literally follow our noses? Yeah.
Follow our noses,
Okay.
yeah,
Hmm.
while holding them a bit.
All right. So yeah, you follow the path into the woods, and what you eventually find is that in the woods is a large goblin encampment. There are There's like, bedrolls and little tents and tree houses and improvised shelters of different kinds for probably hundreds of goblins, most of whom you've seen now sort of trailing past you to head towards the party out on the hill. Um, and yeah, the center point of this enormous goblin encampment is three huge vats, which are unmistakably full of fermenting milk and the rancid and disgusting smell that it produces. And a handful of goblins have been left behind to sort of stir and tend to the vats as the others go to party. They're singing some slightly sad, but still crude goblin songs to commiserate as they miss out on the party proper.
Interesting. And do the goblins we see, do they look like they're in good physical shape? Do they look, I don't know how easy that would be able to tell. I'm trying to figure out just as a player and a character, is this a scene of poverty?
Hmm. I don't. I guess maybe a folklore spend will get you there.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Because I think it's pretty uncommon knowledge.
How poor is this goblin? She just picks one up. Tell me your social class.
Well, if
Oh,
you
wait,
want to talk
you
to
have
the,
solidarity with this one.
I mean, you can try talking to them, which maybe doesn't require a spend. But if you want to like get a sense of what's going on before you try talking to them, that's where I
Hmm.
think the folklore
Yeah,
spend makes sense.
happy to
Um,
spend.
So yeah, something is really wrong here. Goblins don't live like this typically. Whether they're in poverty or not, maybe that's not such a meaningful metric for goblins. But living off fermented milk as they appear to be doing in the woods without proper shelter, as they appear to be doing, none of these are the ways that you would expect to find goblins living. Does that feel like fair information for your spend?
It definitely does. Yeah, I think George just sort of pulls back into the woods a little bit and will whisper, something's wrong.
This is not normal goblin behavior, is it?
Not according to what
Perhaps,
I've read.
perhaps we should talk to them. Do you think they'll attack us?
George shrugs elaborately. She has no idea whatsoever.
Hmm, I can go talk to them. So how many are left in the camp? A handful?
Yeah, let's say six.
Okay.
You're just wandering over to say hello?
Yeah, what the hell? I'm daring, right? Um, uh, so I think, yeah, you all wait here, and if I get into trouble, please do help. And yeah, I think Sybil will approach them playing on the violin,
Mm.
the same songs from that they can hear in the distance,
Hmm.
only closer by.
Um, so they don't really seem to pay any attention to you as you approach.
Uh-huh. So they are busy doing their thing, stirring the vat,
Hmm.
doing their goblin things.
Hmm.
Um, so they don't. It seems like they're not even aware of me. I'm not stealthy anymore, but they just don't pay any attention to me.
Well,
Um,
I guess not really clear if they notice that you're there, but they're not
uh-huh.
reacting to you.
Okay.
I assume these tools are like really small and goblin sized, right?
Well, I mean, the vats themselves are quite large, but the goblins are up on scaffolding around them to be able to stir them with their big paddles.
Okay. Well, all right. I have my walking stick. I can help stir. I'll come up and help stir. Um, well, I'll ask. I'll ask if I can help. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be better at stirring than the little goblins are.
All right. So Sybil's walking up playing, and Owen just sort of strides past and asks the goblins if he can help. Is that what happens?
Yep.
Um,
I love this scene.
so the goblin will look you directly, the nearest goblin will look you directly in the eye and shriek and say, "My God, the humans can see us! The human can see us!" And a wave of panic sort of spreads across them. They're all screaming and looking unsure where to take this.
And Sybil tries to calm them down. Now, now, gentlemen, everything is fine. Everything is fine. And if I need to pay a point and reassure,
I don't think
um,
you need to pay a point, but I think having reassurance,
helps.
yes.
We're not here to make trouble. We're just here to. We we feel bad that you've missed the party. We thought we'd bring a little party to you.
Well, that's very kind for a human.
Seems you're very busy, very lot of work to do here, stirring the pot. Do you always have to do this over and over every evening?
Well, everyone has a job.
Excuse my friend. She's a noble.
Well, in that case, the goblin who's mostly engaging with you will say, "Oh yes, well, we all have to have a job to do ever since the king threw us out of the castle.
How dreadful. Why did he throw you out? Seems like a king should take care of his subjects.
There's his awful new the the girl he's been hanging around with.
Oh, Nanny Rutt. Is that the one?
I think that's what they call her.
She didn't want you in the castle anymore.
Doesn't Well, we're here, aren't we?
I see. By
Exile.
what right did he throw you out of of your own castle?
Exactly. That's what I said.
Because I see around here, well, it seems there are far more goblins than I saw over at the castle.
Well, I think there's only one goblin left at the castle, the king.
It
Oh,
was
and
the
that
go
silly doorman.
okay.
The doorman didn't look like a goblin.
Oh, he didn't look like a
Oh, okay.
goblin. Oh, I didn't remember that. Okay, good, 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 good.
Sorry, maybe I wasn't clear about that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
This is your bailiwick, Owen. This is
no,
the
I
battle of
know.
the working class
I just,
against the monarchy.
I've been engaging in some dialectical argumentation with them. Kind of leading them to the necessity of staging an uprising to execute the monarchy.
Wow.
I have a point an investigation pool in communist now. Could I
Oh
spend
yeah.
that to foment a rebellious sentiment among these goblins?
You really do have a
So
communist point?
I just am thinking about like what's
My
proportionate
God.
here. So you can definitely spend a point and instill some sort of rebellious spirit in them. Whether you can spend a
Hmm.
point and they immediately execute the monarch, I think is
Yeah,
maybe a bit
I'm
much.
not like this is a dialectic. I'm not expecting them to like come to the point of executing the monarchy overnight.
Planting a
I mean,
seed.
Sybil's here. I don't want them to execute Sybil.
No, no, no. I'm
Okay,
not in
so
charge of
like, what is it that you're wanting to get out of this?
Um, I want to foment enough displeasure, but they'll help us
maybe they could help
um
us get into the castle.
toss the king out of the castle.
Yeah.
They'll be willing to help us with that.
All right, and is it these six goblins specifically that you want to get to help you, or do you want them to convince the whole goblin, tribe to help you?
I'd assume the tribe. I mean, it needs to be a class
All right.
uprising, right?
Sure. Okay, yeah, I think that works. So, um, George, you've been sort of hanging back in the trees, but you can see now that Owen has gotten into one of his communist polemics with these poor goblins. What do you do?
Um, yeah, I think for now she's just holding back. This doesn't seem like a situation where
Okay.
she needs to insert herself, and it might be helpful to, keep her in reserve. I think she is genuinely enjoying watching him work, and thinking that he would have made a great academic if he hadn't been, sullied by marks, I guess. That George's thoughts, not mine.
Um, all right. So, just in terms of where we go here, do we wrap this scene up and say that you have this, goblin tribe sort of in your back pocket for the moment that you decide to besiege the castle, or are you going to try and lead this uprising right now? Like, what's going on?
I mean, are we doing this now? Like, I guess out of character, is that our plan?
Well, they've already
Hmm.
got their grievance, right?
Yeah.
Um, I
Well,
was
we need to
thinking
get
that
rid
maybe
of
they could. Oh, wait, we need to get rid of who?
Nanny Rutt was what I was thinking. It seems like she's
Nanny
the
Rutt.
the core of these problems.
Right. She somehow seduced the king.
Well, the appropriation of labor from the working class is the problem. Nanny Rutt is just the agent of her class.
I was wondering whether we could get some information on how to infiltrate the castle from these folks since they're disaffected.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, they can tell you that the only way in or out is through the front door, and that the front door is locked from the inside. Um, but that there are human servants inside the castle who remained to attend to the king and his consort. Um, and they could be, bribed or tricked into opening the door.
I mean, we
Um,
do have a ex I don't know that it's expensive, but I would assume we have a magical artifact. Owen has the ring, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. I do. I'm also good at intimidating though, so
You know what? That is true. That is not a solution George would ever have gone to, but
Well, the
so,
question is, do we want to infiltrate ourselves or do we want to lead the rebellion? A bloody rebellion.
so I think it is, to me, in the fiction, it makes sense that it is going to be much harder to convince the servants to open the door to an army of hundreds of disaffected goblins than it is for the three of you, or maybe the three of you and a handful of loyal associate goblins, or something like that. Um, so I think if you want to lead the goblin army against the castle, it's more like a siege of some kind. Um,
What
so,
about we get in, we try to get in through trickery or some other way,
mhm,
and they wait in the wings and then for our signal, and then they can come in through the open door that we offer, you know.
mhm.
So we're kind of a lead force or vanguard.
Yeah, something like that would make sense to me.
Hmm. How do the
Sybil's
goblins
joining the
feel about
Communist Vanguard. Who would have thought?
it? It's exciting.
She does love a party.
I do love a party.
We just never
Um,
asked which one. And
All
Sybil's
right.
kind of whipped them up already into a bit of a frenzy with the music and stuff. So they're probably in uh, a reckless mood. Let's put it that way.
Right. So, I mean, I think if you plan to do this now, the sort of gathering of the goblins, the hoarding of them, the retrieving of them from the party is going to take at least a couple of hours, and it's going to be, quite early in the morning, maybe with the party winding down by the time you're ready to execute this plan. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Seems okay to
Yeah, that
me,
makes
yeah.
sense.
All right. So the three of you present yourselves at the door to the castle and knock for one of the servants. Is that what's happening?
How shall we approach this? Do we have a plan? Owen intimidates them.
When the servant was opening the door for us,
So
did he have like a pair of glasses or did he have like a small object on him that George got a look at?
yeah, I think so. He didn't open the door per se. There's a little like hatch sort of high up in the
Hmm.
door that can be opened to look out. But yeah, the servant who popped his head out had spectacles.
Yeah, I would like to have those spectacles through ghost power.
Ah, interesting. Um, so let's see. We'll see if my guide for setting difficulties actually works here. So you want a unique item. So we're
Hmm.
starting with the difficulty 4 and we're adding 6. That's difficulty 10.
Hmm.
Item
Hmm.
has emotional weight. Do the glasses have emotional weight, do we think? Um, Maybe not. Someone is currently touching or holding the item. I think that that's not the case because the servant is asleep right now, because it's the middle of the night. So I think we'll say it is a difficulty 10 application test or glamour test.
And I happen to have exactly 9 points left of glamour, which
Convenient.
I will spend. It is convenient. Uh,
Well, you need to
and
spend
I'll
them
just roll
all.
for the heck of it. I don't, but I'm going to because it's difficulty 10, we said.
Oh, okay.
14.
All right. Um, so all right, so the glasses appear in your hand. Is that what you're wanting?
Hmm.
Um, and I mean, it was a critical success. So, I mean, I assume you want the attention of the servant. So maybe he is woken by the sort of mystical whooshing of the spirit guide taking the spectacles. Um, what do you do?
Yeah, I think George will, once they are delivered to her, will toss them to Owen and say, leverage.
I mean, this sounds more like one of their people that know how to bargain. Sounds more like a bargain to me now than intimidation, but I guess we can try that. Um,
George
yeah,
is fresh out of bargaining points.
yeah.
She has spent all day arguing with the grocer.
I mean, I think it would make sense to use entry with the glasses to persuade him to open the door for you.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, so what do you say as he pops his head out, sort of squinting awkwardly in the darkness?
I spin the glasses around my finger. It appears you're oh, I'm sorry. It appears I found these laying outside. I thought I'd check to see if anyone was missing their glasses.
You've got my glasses. He
Oh, are
can't
these
really see.
yours?
He's sort of looking in the general direction of where your voice is coming from. Well, give me my glasses back and just reaches an arm sort of awkwardly out through this little hatch to try and grab them.
I grab his arm and pull it against the crook of this hatch.
Ah, hey, sir, that hurts. Ah,
Oh, I know it hurts. I can make it hurt worse if you want.
oh, well, it's very kind of you, sir, but I have my arm back and my spectacles too.
I say there are five fingers here, so I figure I can give you I can ask this five times before I have to start moving up to the hand. Are you going to open the door for me?
Oh, yeah, so I think it'll take a spend point of something for this to
Of
work.
intimidation here. This is me
But he
using
is,
intimidation.
yeah, definitely intimidated. Of course, just let me let me go. I'll be only too keen to open the door for you, please.
Or wait, is he opening the door?
Well, I don't think he can while you've got his arm like stretched out through the hatch.
Hmm.
And I mean, you have the sense that you've intimidated him sufficiently that he's going to do what you
Okay.
say.
Sure.
So he
Let
yanks
go.
his arm back awkwardly, um, and you hear him inside sort of sliding back the large bolt that holds the door shut and opening the gate for the three of you. And then he'll just sort of stand there with his arm tucked nervously against his chest and say, my glasses, please, my glasses.
Um, I throw them out some distance into the field. Oh, I'm sorry. It appears I dropped them again, sir.
God, can you help me find them? It's terribly dark out there. And you can see that it's not dark inside the castle, but this, man who can barely see without his glasses peering out into the dark field looks very unhappy at the prospect of trying to find where you've thrown his glasses.
Oh, well, I'm sorry, but I have a meeting with the king as I step inside. I push him out.
He goes staggering off to look for his glasses, I suppose.
Quick out of character question.
Mm.
I know we're staging a coup here, but are we also, is our intent also to do an attunement here? Isn't this where the ley lines intersect, or did I get that wrong?
You believe that the ley lines intersect somewhere in the castle.
Okay, so part of our intention is to try to find the spot in the castle where we might be able to do an attunement while everyone's asleep still, if we want to continue the stealth aspect of this mission, right? Is
Mhm.
that correct, you all?
Yeah, definitely want to attune. I mean,
Isn't
if
there
we
something
are
about attunement that like allows us to
do it faster.
do it faster, or also that is there something that allows us to like keep anyone else from ever doing it again or something like that? I can't remember what it
You
is.
can so you gain the leader of the ritual gains magic points and can choose to immediately reinvest those magic points in the node to make it harder for others to attune to it.
Right. Okay. But we don't have a sense that the Goblin King is really pulling on the power of the node, or maybe we might find that out. So is
Mhm.
our maybe our first order of business to try to locate the node now that we're in before we call the Goblin hordes down?
Well, let me tell you what you see as you step inside, and then you can
Okay.
talk about what
Yeah.
you want to do. So the first thing that you see inside is a beautiful flower garden that's arrayed just inside the gate or the door. The flowers are like nothing that you've seen before, certainly nothing that grows in England, probably nothing that grows in the world, but very beautiful, very well kept. Hanging above the flowers it looks like an enormous wasp's nest, uh, old and desiccated and probably about 10 or 12 feet across. There's tatters of the nest material sort of broken away and dangling like streamers over the flowers. And beyond the flowers, across the courtyard, are these enormous sort of MC Escher-ish staircases that lead both up and down. Um, and apart from that, the castle is very quiet and empty. You can really feel the absence of the goblins that are supposed to live here. In fact, maybe there should be more castle, but the lack of subjects has diminished it or shrunk it in some way. So, what do you do?
So if our I'm just seeing that George's priority is to find Lizzie. I wonder if there's a way that we can use our spirit guides to try to find if Lizzie is in the house.
Yeah, good question.
Yeah, find someone.
Yeah, that is a thing that spirit guides can do, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the problem that you have with this is that magical defenses increase the difficulty of find someone, and we
Okay.
know that Lizzie has significant magical defenses. So you can give this a try.
Mhm.
I believe, if I recall correctly, that when you considered this before, we said the difficulty would be 30. So
Oh
it would
my
probably
goodness.
require cooperation between one of you and the spirit guide and quite a big investment.
Uh, there might be more
Yeah, I don't
mundane
think we
ways to
have
do
that
it.
many
I
points.
don't, that's a lot of firepower, spirit guide firepower.
Yeah.
So how do we want to proceed just for a moment out of character? Do we want to try to find Lizzie? Do we want to try to find the node? Um, uh, how do we want to do it?
I mean, search and see what we find first, I guess. Because
Okay.
we don't really know where anything is. Uh,
Mhm.
although the goblins do. Do we have a signal?
We must have a signal that we were going to give the goblins for them to like storm the house. But once they do that, then we won't be able to do an attunement or anything like that stealthily. Um,
Yeah, but they're friends of ours. They might not care as much.
it's gonna be
Also,
chaos.
Nanny Rutt might kill them all. Who can say?
What do you think, Stephen?
Um, yeah, I think that I think about that my plan was to start the revolution now and
Immediately, yeah.
yeah, and sort all this out and sort all this out in the revolt.
Uh-huh. Later on.
Well, or during.
So then we just open the door, give the signal to the goblin hordes, and have them
Yeah.
come streaming in.
Is that what you want to do?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. So you give the whistle or whatever the signal was, and I think we see the poor servant has just managed to find his glasses and is trudging back towards the castle when the ground starts to shake with the boots of hundreds of goblins who just sort of crash into him and knock him down and stomp all over him and trample him into the dirt as he uh, squeals and groans. But yes, the castle around you is overrun with goblins again. The it's quite a slow process, but quickly you'll recognize that the castle is expanding and new buildings, new rooms are appearing in it as the goblins return. I think most of them will be rushing up the stairs, the sort of upside down inverted stairs that lead upwards. Um, some of them might head back to their quarters or try and manifest their quarters returning. Um, One of the ones that you spoke to, Sybil and Owen, will stop and thank you so much for bringing us back home. Um, and you can hear upstairs the sound of, little goblin feet as they bash on the door of the king's chamber trying to gain entrance. Little goblin voices calling out, "Let us in, let us in."
Okay, are we looking for the Are we looking for the location of the place of power now, or
Oh, in the chaos. Yeah, I'm not sure how notice works. But is there anything, because I've got a couple of points in notice, is there anything about the castle itself that might indicate where the node might be located, or whether we should go down, or what direction we might go towards the node? Or yeah, because or I mean, searching for Lizzie would just mean searching the entire castle, right? Which is getting bigger by the moment.
I buy that you can use high society for this. You know enough about how castles are laid out that you
Oh, it's
can,
a castle.
make some assumptions.
Uh-huh.
So you don't need to spend, it's not, factual information. It's just your intuitions based on what you know of, similar English buildings and traditions. But
Okay.
if there are prisoners here, you'd expect them to be down in the dungeons.
The dungeon.
If
Okay.
Lizzie is being held against her will, it might make sense that she's there. And you would expect the king to keep the place of power close, perhaps up in his chamber where he sleeps.
Got it.
what's fair? You might want to join that then.
You mean join the storming of the king's chambers? Is that what you mean, Stephen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't we get
What do you think,
Lizzie
T?
first?
Yeah, get Lizzie first.
I mean, I suppose
Sure,
we
that.
could divide and conquer.
So Lizzie would probably be down the Escher stairs. If Escher stairs go down, they do go down. They're
But they
just
go
not so
sort of in undecidedly up and down.
undecidedly up and down. Yeah, give the rebellion a little time to ferment up there and cause trouble, and we can try to break Lizzie out if she is here from the dungeons.
The horse might be there as well.
Oh, the horse, that's right. It made the scream.
All right. So the
Okay,
th
Owen, I think Sybil says, if there are prisoners here, they must be released as part of your revolution. Isn't that not correct? Owen, dear, are you listening?
Of course, are there if there's a prison around, if there is a prison of some sort around here, we can certainly go look ourselves for you.
Yes, let's spring open the prison.
All
So
right.
we'll go down the stairs looking for the dungeon.
All right. So we're near the top of the hour, so we'll take a break here and come back just on the hour, if that's good for everyone, as you arrive in the dungeons of the Goblin Castle.
Sounds good.
All right. So the three of you have descended the strange, unfathomable staircase and sort of explored the dungeon goblins, the goblin dungeons, mostly empty, except for the sort of scattered goblin torture devices, all filthy and rusted, that you pass along the way. But eventually, the dungeon opens up into an enormous stall in which a giant earthen horse is chained to the wall by fetters at its uh, legs and neck. Um, and it turns to you and sees that you're not goblins or the humans that it's seen, the servants. It says, "Oh, please help me out of here. I must return to my hill."
Why ever have you been imprisoned here?
That that thing upstairs brought me here.
Do you mean the king?
No, I mean the other one.
Nanny Rutt, the consort.
Look, I've
Why would she
known.
imprison you? You're such a handsome horse.
Well, thank you. Uh, uh, that is not Nanny Rutt. I've known Nanny Rutt for hundreds of years. And that thing might be wearing her skin, but that is not Nanny Rutt. And that is what she told me, that she brought me here so that when that body decays, she would cut me open and wear me the way that she wears Nanny Rutt now.
George looks at the two of you and says, the children? I suppose it doesn't matter. We should get you free. And begins looking around at the shackles, I guess.
Yeah, so I think it's straightforward with the tools that have been left around to unfasten for people with arms and legs that aren't shackled to unfasten the horse.
Opposable thumbs.
Yes, all those sorts of conveniences. Um, um,
Uh, and so, yeah, I assume Sybil will probably leave George and Owen to do that, and she'll talk to the horse.
mhm.
It's just, well, there's a rebellion going on upstairs, against the king by his goblin servants. Plenty of chaos for you to slip out and away from this creature.
Uh, Slipping out has never really been my way, but perhaps it's prudent in the circumstances.
You are quite large. But in any case, no one will pay you much heed. I think there's quite a bit of chaos upstairs.
Mm. I must get back to my hill urgently. I can feel the energies. The people are on the verge of summoning the old gods, and I would not see Woden back here. It would be most inconvenient.
Yes, well, we may have riled them up just a little bit. Um,
All
but
right,
I
my
think you'll
return will
find the
settle
hill.
them.
Have you seen a human woman?
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Have you?
seen many human women. What do you mean?
Uh,
I
she
don't know how
might
to
have been
give it away.
calling. Yeah, she might have been calling herself Lizzie or Eileen. Uh, White hair, up, distinct cheekbones.
Oh, you mean here? No, I
Hmm,
haven't.
I see.
I mean, I can't say I've seen much here. I've been penned up in this cell the whole time.
And as the chains clank down, and break, um, I think Sybil just says, "Now run free, young pony, young horse, no horse, proud horse. Back to your hill.
Um,
Do your job.
yeah, well, thank you all. I hope you find the woman that you're looking for, and it will trot away.
We did a good deed." It doesn't look like Lizzie's down here in the dungeon.
It does not. I
Shall we
wonder.
say upstairs? What do you wonder, George?
I wonder what was in that hive.
Oh, that does seem distasteful. You think Lizzie could be in there?
I don't know what I think.
I suppose we could go and examine it.
It's on the way, isn't it?
It is indeed, if we can find our way up these strangely disorienting staircases.
Right. So, as you come back into the courtyard, you notice a couple of things. The first is that the wasp nest is gone. There's no sign of it. The second is that the rebellion seems to be sputtering out if it hasn't completely fallen apart already. There are goblins just sort of sitting around looking a little disconsolate. Some on the stairs, some just spread across the courtyard. Um, what do you do?
Oh, and it appears that our revolution is losing steam. What's the appropriate course? What was Mr. Marks say?
Oh, let's see. Um, so the goblins are sitting around. Who else is in the room here?
Well, it's just a sort of big open chamber. There's stairs that lead up towards where you think the Goblin King's chamber would be, where all the goblins went. But there's just lots of goblins sort of sitting around everywhere, talking amongst themselves.
I think
Loitering.
the best thought here would be to continue into the upper floors. That once we have the king subdued, the uh, the impetus of the movement should return.
It seems that this creature impersonating Nanny Rutt is the true adversary here. But if we wish to find the node, I suspect we must go upstairs. George, do you concur?
She's looking at where the wasp's nest was and says, I mean, we don't have to. We freed the horse. We could just leave.
We should see this
Uh,
through.
well, that does seem a bit counterintuitive to finding finding the source. Is it not?
No, you're right. We should press on.
If it gets terrible,
See
we
this
can
through to the
always
end.
run.
I appreciate your optimism, Sybil. No. Should we go up?
So I think we proceed up the stairs.
All right. So as you arrive at the upper level, you see that the goblins did succeed in breaking into the Goblin King's chamber. Um, but instead of finding, a hated monarch to overthrow, they found the Goblin King alone, sitting on the floor, sobbing, and he continues to cry as the three of you arrive in the chamber. He
Now,
doesn't
dear.
even look up.
Now, dear. Whatever could be the matter? It can't be all that bad.
Um, he looks up at you, and as he does, his very fancy green velvet robe sort of falls open, and you see that his chest is broken outwards, and his heart has been cleaved in two inside his chest. So he is literally heartbroken,
Broken-hearted.
and uh, thick iron nails have been hammered into each side of the broken heart so that they can't heal or be restored. And he says, I let down my people. I threw them out of the castle. I fell for that witch. I'm a terrible king.
Now, we all make poor decisions.
Yes, and abdication is always an
Your
I
people
think
are
she's something a
returning to the
little,
castle as we speak.
I think it's something a little more than a witch. And I think George will kneel down in front of him and begin examining the nails. Uh, and my goodness, sorry, I don't know if the mic is picking up any of the thunder, but it's certainly happening. Um,
Not at
uh,
all, but it sounds atmospheric. There's definitely thunder booming
extremely
outside.
The
fabulous.
thunder of little goblin
Uh,
feet.
uh, I think she says, with her, she's been trained in medicine. She says, I think I could take these out for you. I don't know. how much would help, but I can't imagine it feels good.
Oh, what's the point? What's the point of any of this?
I'll take that as a yes. Owen, hold him.
So, Owen's holding the body while you try and repair the broken heart.
Yeah, she's gonna. I'm happy to do a medicine spend for this. This feels, uh, uh, that feels like the most relevant skill, I suppose. Um,
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's probably not comfort and support.
no, a thing George cannot do. Well, yeah, she can't do.
I think that, some of the goblins who had abandoned their rebellion are looking on uncertainly as these humans lay their hands on the king, who they maybe intended to depose moments ago, maybe still intend to depose. Um, but the king will just sort of let you do it. He's very depressed and despondent, of course, and just continues to cry and yelp in some pain as you draw the nails out. Um, And eventually, maybe just as the sun rises, you take the last nail out and you see that the heart, with that iron removed, just starts to knit itself back together. And the ribs, draw themselves in. Goblin King will
And
say, Thank you. I do feel much better. Although, uh, I mean, all the things I said about myself were true. I was bewitched. I did let my people down.
So what can you tell us about this person who seduced you and caused you to make such bad decisions?
She was very beautiful, of course.
Of course, no doubt. She presented herself as Nanny Rutt. Do you think that's who she was?
Hmm. I don't think the king really knows the answer to that question. Well, of course, who else would it be? Um,
Of course,
but
dear.
not behaving like the nanny rat I once knew. Um, she seduced me and bedazzled me, and before I knew it, she would convince me that we should have the castle to ourselves. We're terribly rude to our guests. Awful things.
Sad. Well, seems like you have an opportunity to make reparations now. Your people are returning to the castle?
I suppose.
Owen,
I know how you
you should
feel.
advise him. What happens to a deposed monarch? Consult Mr. Marks. There must be some mercy for them, if they are truly contrite, as certainly Mr. Goblin King here is. Don't say off with his head. I know you want to say that.
I suppose if he wishes to dissolve the monarchy willingly, there would be no need for a coup.
Well, I hardly think a coup is going to be a problem. Now that my heart is restored, the energy flows through it properly. Uh, my people will serve as they always have. They'd be lost. Who are you? And he looks at all three of you.
Oh, so is his heart the place of power? I think we should. You still have those nails, right, George?
Oh, yeah, they are in her pocket. She's not leaving those. Are you kidding? Um, I think George, seeing Owen's look, will say, we were here to remove the let's call it pernicious influence from the ley lines.
Well,
And
she's been removed, I suppose.
I think there might be one thing we need to do still. Was there a woman who came to the castle?
A human woman.
Do you mean Lizzie Wyberg?
That's the one.
Oh no, I feel terribly guilty about this.
Oh dear. I don't like the sound of this.
Sorry. Lizzie Wyberg is an old friend of the kingdom. She came here to ask for my help. But before she could ask whatever it was she wanted to ask, a great battle broke out between her and Nanny Rutt. Um, they were locked in mystical combat for at least a day and a night. And then Nanny Rutt broke away, and you saw what she did. He gestures to his own chest. Um, she cut me open, I think, to try and drain the power from me in some way. But Lizzie, to save me, tore a hole in the world and dragged Nanny Rutt through it.
Do you know where they went? Did you see the other side of the hole?
I did.
Any clue?
Uh, it was passing strange. There was a sort of great crystal cube, but the cube took the shape of a child sucking on its finger. It was surrounded by a black sphere and attended by four archangels in black robes with their wings and armor outlined in white. And then I saw her tear a hole in that world and drag Nanny Rudd even deeper. Does anyone want to make an occult spend to recognize what the king is describing?
Sure, I can do that.
All right. So that description is familiar to you. You remember reading John Dee, the famous court astronomer to Elizabeth I, wrote that our world is surrounded by 30 aethers, uh, concentric layers of sort of spiritual planes that surround the world like an onion. And they have names in Enochian, the language of angels, and what the Goblin King is describing sounds very much like Dee's description of the first or nearest of these aethers, called Tex, the 30th. I don't know how to pronounce this word, so I'm going to type it in the chat so you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, okay.
And you know that the child sucking on its finger that he saw is the Greek god Harpocrates, who is the guardian of the outermost layer, or the innermost layer, sorry.
Mhm.
So what do you do?
And he says they went deeper from there.
Yeah. He only saw, he saw them enter this first layer and then tear through that into a further layer, but he didn't see what happened beyond that. You know
I
Miss
mean,
Weiberg
how's the
too?
we're her students.
Well, I hope that you can find her.
So do I.
I have every confidence that you will. Mm. Any students of Lizzie Weiberg, I'm sure, are powerful and competent. insightful.
And one last thing. If it wouldn't be too much bother, we need to cleanse the ley line conjunction here so that sorts like Nanny Rutt can't take advantage of it in the future. Would that
What
be all right with you?
what does that mean?
A simple ritual is all. Shouldn't affect you and your subjects. Compatriots? Comrades. Now,
You
are we at the um do we sense that we are at the ley line conjunction or crossing here?
well, I think as Owen
It
guessed,
sounded
and
like his heart is the ley line conjunction.
yeah,
Ah,
I think that George
That's why I
intuitively
suggested
felt
we
that.
yeah, we get those nails back out because honestly,
so if that were to be the case, what would it mean to attune to them?
well, we
Does it
saw now
harm the
how to
king?
tune to it.
Goblin polycule?
Well, let me look at
I
the
mean, yeah,
attune.
do we sense the uh I guess the gross, for lack of a better word, energies we did previously?
So I think that you definitely felt them as you started to draw the nails out, and that to some extent you've, diminished its power in doing that.
Hmm.
Um, and that it is open to you now to try and attune to the Goblin King's heart.
Mhm.
Hmm.
I don't know what else to say to him about it.
I mean, if you want to cleave to those, I can't say what will happen to your memories, but certainly if you like what she did to you and you want to keep reminders of it around, we don't have to proceed.
What is this ritual then?
It would cleanse this place of Nanny Rutt's influence and those like it, like her. And in the process, as my friend George says, you might lose your memory of Nanny Rutt and the happenings here in the castle. A fresh start, you might say. Is that something that would interest you?
I can't help but feel that there's something you're not telling me about this ritual. But if you can do what you say, I will make you knights of the Goblin Kingdom.
Is there something that we're not telling him about this ritual?
Well, I don't think he realizes that his heart is what you're proposing to do magic
Hmm.
on.
Oh, I see. I see. I see.
Uh, I think George sort of grins a little at that and says, Sir George, there is a dragon around.
Well, if he agrees to it, then I guess we begin the ritual.
All right, who's going to lead the ritual?
I'm trying to remember how this all works now.
Sure, I can lead the ritual.
You want to lead this one?
Oh,
I asked
I
for
like
the
that.
Wow,
nails just so
Owen.
that.
You sure did. You sure did. Yeah, George will put them in your palm, slightly sticky.
Hmm.
All right. So let me check. Uh, we have 3 points of magic. Okay, so there's going to be a 9 will point cost to begin the ritual. As usual, you can spend magic 2 for 1 to boost your will.
Let's see. I have I'll spend down six of the will because I refreshed earlier. Um, and one magic.
All right. Um, I, if anyone wants to, because the node is the king's heart, I will reduce the difficulty if you spend a point of flirting and romance to convince him to open his heart to you. If you don't want to do that, that's okay.
Hmm.
I've got a point of flirting and romance. I can do it. I've
All
been
right.
trying to talk him down the whole time.
So, what does flirting with the Goblin King look like?
I think Sybil is trying to give him, I think that's what she was already trying to do, give him hope of kind of getting past his heartbreak and getting past his guilt and giving them possibilities of future romances that aren't quite so dark and malevolent.
Um, right. I guess that works. The Goblin King is, recovering from his deep sadness and is increasingly embarrassed to have let humans see him like this. But he is moved by your words as much as he would like you not to know that. And so, yeah, um, the inertia is going to be substantially lower than it would otherwise be. Um, so, Owen, I think you just need to make a single will test to beat the inertia, and probably draw some help from Sybil and George if they're to share in the benefits of the ritual.
So what's the inertia?
Uh,
Is
the
like is it just a 4 will test?
Yeah, so you just need to make a straightforward will test. The difficulty for the will test is 5 or 4 if you spend a point of occult.
I don't have any occult.
So you just need to
Alright.
make a 5-point will test with help from the others.
So I have plenty of will. How much should I send your way?
I can spend down my 2 points of magic first.
So just like one of the reasons to get help from the others is that for them to benefit from the ritual and gain some
Oh,
magic
right.
points from it, they need to participate.
Okay, sure. I'll spend down a point of magic, so that's 3 points. Uh so or I guess I'll let people spend because I think otherwise there's not much point in them spending, right? Sorry.
So I
Oh, that's
spend
okay.
will.
Yes.
George will take you one because you're pretty close, right?
You're pretty close to what you need, Owen.
So I need to get a 5, you said on the roll.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, so I can spend magic for 3. But I guess the question was, would people rather me not spend the magic because then that would give them reason to actually spend. I'm gonna be rolling this multiple times, right?
Just the once. The king, Sybil's seduction of the king, if I can call it that, has reduced the inertia almost to nothing, and you just need
Okay,
to
so
succeed once.
how about you two spend the points here because
Okay.
otherwise it'd just be I like the only thing I have left is magic, so
Yeah.
that would
So
already raise it to 3. I need to spend 4 total to get. I need a +4 total to guarantee this.
if I
So
spend a point of magic and send it your way,
yeah,
does
that'll
that
give me
help?
+2. Yes.
Okay.
And George will send you one.
Go ahead and roll.
Do we need to describe how
That's right.
our magic is creepy and strange?
Oh, that's right.
I mean, I'm nailing these
Yeah.
back into his heart.
Oh,
I don't know the king is going to let you do that.
We'll let you do
Okay.
that.
Well, he should have thought about that before exposing his heart to us, but okay.
I see Sybil kind of putting her hand, because his chest is still open, putting her hand on the heart, or cradling the heart in
Okay.
her hand as it beats, and kind of it's still kind of oozing uh, ichor. I don't know what it would be for a Goblin King's heart onto her hand, and kind of and coming up her arm a little bit as she's holding the king's heart. Maybe it's green. Goblin ichor has to be green, right? I would
Surely.
think. Yeah.
Oh, all right. I buy that. How does it feel holding the Goblin King's heart?
So I think when it's the ichor that actually, as it's like flowing up her arms, it's cold, but also she feels the angst of the heartbreak, and also the guilt that he has around having let down his people. Um, and Sybil kind of shudders at the intensity of it. It's not like human emotion somehow. It's rawer, more raw, more elemental. And even though Sybil's got a lot of composure, I think it makes her shudder a bit and shake.
All right. And Owen, you're not nailing the nails back into the heart, but what do you do with them as part of the ritual?
I think I'm gonna nail them at the four corners of the throne room. My hope is to contain his authority only to this room.
Oh, interesting.
He can be the king of one room. That's fine.
Still
All
have
right.
his
Go ahead and
The
roll.
goblins get the rest of the castle.
Uh-huh.
party.
So you can roll for that. I think, on a basic success, you're just going to attune, and on a critical success, you're going to successfully confine the Goblin King's
Oh, is
monarchic
that the
authority.
case?
Should we shoot for a critical then? Should we give
Yeah,
you
I'll
more?
I'll spend down I think George, what are you spending to contribute to this ritual?
George has spent will. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, and I think this looks like just kind of like a brotherly kiss almost. And I shall say, guard your heart better.
Okay.
Oh,
So I have +6
Oh,
from myself, +2 from um
Sybil?
Sybil.
And
How
George kicked you one.
what? Okay, so that's 9.
difficulty is 5. So if you roll with that, you're going to get a critical success.
Here we go, just barely.
Just barely.
Just barely got the one.
Um, so I think that the king will feel that something strange and not quite right, at least from his point of view, has just happened. Um, and his intention to knight you as his faithful servants is withdrawing that offer. And the three of you should get out. And you see that he tries to say out of his kingdom, but all he can manage to say is out of his bedroom.
Of course, dear. We're leaving now.
You're welcome, my liege of the bedchambers. And I step out.
All right. So we're relatively near the end of the session, unless there's stuff we want to wrap up in
Spend
Tysoe.
some time working with the goblins on how to set up a democratic collective.
Nice, of course. Um, but I think what we might say. So, T, am I right that you can't make it next week?
Yes, that is correct.
So, if it's all right, what I want to suggest as the fictional explanation is that you are going to get into some deep book research to try and find a ritual that will let you find Lizzie in the Aethers and come back to the others having learned what that looks like.
And I mean, she doesn't have her research assistant anymore, so it's going to take her even longer.
Twice as
It's
fast.
going to
Yep.
be a slower
Twice as long.
process.
Yep.
Yeah, so and the magic we got from that, how much
Oh
do
yeah,
I get?
sorry. You get 3, and the other 2 each get 1 point of magic.
Okay.
And then you
Uh,
said we can immediately invest magic back
yeah,
in to stop it from.
that is right. How does that work? Sorry. The leader can, if they wish, strengthen their attunement by spending points of their magic rating. So this is not spending points from the pool, it's spending points of your like max magic rating. Each point so spent increases the inertia for any subsequent attempts by others to attune with the place or object by 10. So
Okay,
do you
I'll
want
spend a
to?
point of. I'll spend a point. Yeah.
All right. Um, cool. All right. Well, with that, I will stop the recording and we can.
I want this to be the Goblin Vanguard of the revolution. I'll spend 2. It's going to be really hard. This is locking them in.
Impossible now.
All
Lock it
right.
down.
Nice. All right. So with that, as the Goblin Revolution entrenches itself,
Proceeds.
we will stop the recording and do stars and wishes.